panel, Dr. Rekha Jha, President, BOGS. Next to Dr. Rekha Jha, Dr. Roma Yadav, Vice President, BOGS. Dr. Varsha Sinha, Member, BOGS. Dr. Pratibha Singh. Dr. Pratibha Singh is National Coordinator. And we have a special invitee, Madam Chitra Mishra. She's an educationist. And I mean that Madam Chitra Mishra happens to be the good wife of Professor R.K. Mishra. And Dr. Pushpalata needs no introduction. Do I need to give introduction to Dr. I know in fact this college cannot in fact present to these lady doctors who have come to us, who have come to enlighten the crowd, the students. But as a token of love and respect, well, we have a small memento. I would request Principal Madam kindly to give these mementos to the visiting dignitaries, please. To Dr. Rekha. May I request Dr. Rekha Jha kindly to give this token of love to our principal, Dr. Pushpalata, please. Thank you, Madam. Thank you, everyone. Let's quickly invite in, Dr. Pushpalata to speak a few words on the occasion. Dr. Pushpalata, please.
Good morning. First of all, welcome to our meeting, which are seated on the dais. Welcome to Dr. Rekha Jha. She is the President of BOG. Dr. Roma Yadav, Vice President BOG. Dr. Varsha Sinha, Member BOG. Dr. Pratibha Sinha, National Coordinator of BOG. Dr. Chitra Mishra, our Professor Shashank, our college professor, Professor Shashank Shekhar, Professor Ranjan Mishra, Professor Manikant Mandal, and our colleagues, a very good topic of women's harassment. From childhood to adult, how to protect yourself by this, and men society also aware with this and take precaution. Such type of activity is not possible, or we cannot that type of activity is not taken in our society also, maybe in talking condition or it may be in anywhere. So how you will understand this is a type of women's harassment, or you should not do like this, you should not talk like this. You should know all whole society. That means women's and men's both. So for this our special team is invited here, or better we listen by them one by one and get benefited by this special lecture series. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Now I request Dr. Rekha Jay and her team to kindly conduct the entire proceeding, the rest of the proceeding.
First of all, I would like to thank the principal of this engineering college, Dr. Pushpalata, to have accepted the proposal which Professor Ranjan Kumar Mishra gave her about conducting the session of DHEERA. It is known as DHEERA. The program is known as DHEERA and it says violence against women. What the program is will be self-explanatory when we show you the video. Kindly listen.
Dear friends, FOGSIans and the women of my country, I am Dr. Shanta Kumari, President of the Federation of Obstetrician and Gynecological Societies of India. As a doctor and a woman myself, I have observed very closely how prevalent violence against women is across the strata of our society and the enormous impact it has on the health of our women. My theme for the year as the President FOGSI is FOGSI for all always and DHEERA, Stop Violence Against Women.
Dr. Shanta Kumari relentlessly campaigned for the issues of girl child. I was happy to be the ambassador of FOGSI Figure Off in 2030 and I hope that me being an ambassador has motivated a lot of girls and many families.
Violence against women is unfortunately 1 in 3 women experience some sort of physical and sexual violence during their lifetime. Violence in pregnancy is also widely prevalent, leading to unwanted pregnancies, unsafe abortions, neglected pregnancies with no antenatal care, all these contributing to maternal morbidity and near miss. As obstetricians and gynecologists, we have a great opportunity to assess and support women who experience violence. Because of the unique opportunity where we get to see them during the pregnancy, during the family planning visits, during their annual checkup, and multiple other times when they come to us. I strongly believe that by eliminating the violence against women, we are not only reaching the SDG goals, but also creates a just and equal society for our women. Until we make men and boys active partners, we can never end the violence against women. In an endeavor to sensitize our own fraternity, my initiative of DHEERA was started to eliminate violence against women.
I completely support her vision and mission as President FOGSI and also especially support her campaign DHEERA, Stop Violence Against Women.
It was in 2016 at the launch of DHEERA. We brought together the police, the obstetrician gynecologists, the National Commission for Women, the women and men on one single platform to wear orange and say no to violence against women. We organized the public forum and cyclothon to launch DHEERA. In 2017 at the FOGSI FIGO Congress, we partnered with men and organized the bikeathon and the flash mob. The high point of DHEERA was at the International FIGO Congress at Rio, Brazil in 2018. The declaration on no to violence against women was signed with FIGO and WHO. It was here global societies pledged their support to end this violence against women. The DHEERA campaign and march at the World Congress of FIGO in Rio in 2018 got wide international publicity. Young minds are open and creative. They accept change. FOGSI has always worked with adolescents for their health and well-being. DHEERA this year adds a new page. I'm happy to share with you all that we are launching the DHEERA online school certification course across the length and breadth of our country.
What I think is that now you know what DHEERA means. It is an initiative which was brought by Dr. Shanta Kumari, President FOGSI. President FOGSI means Federation of Obstetric and Gynecological Societies of India. All the lady doctors, all the female doctors, they come under, and we are a big organization with more than 37,000 people in it. So she brought that initiative that we should sensitize people, sensitize the masses that violence against women is going on. And in this process what the modules are prepared, and these modules are what will be explained today to each and every one of you, so that you better follow what it means, violence against women. It is not a simple thing, and it is not the perspective of somebody else, but it is the perspective of the girls themselves who have first prepared the slides and sent to the federation, and then it was further made into proper slides, and then it is presented. And for starting the program, I would like to call upon Dr. Pratibha Singh, who is the national coordinator of this DHEERA program. She is one from our society who is coordinating in all the schools and colleges and she will start with the first module and whatever more she has to say.
Respected principal of engineering college, all teachers, students, staff of engineering college, a very good morning to all of you. I really want to thank the staff of engineering college for giving us this opportunity to show this, start this DHEERA project in your college. Normally what we have prepared this is mainly to sensitize young girls and boys of class 9, 10th, 11th, 12th. But we have come in your college, students of engineering college, just to make you also aware that you all know violence against women or violence against any gender is very common. So how you can act in that situation, that is what we want to just sensitize you, and for that we have prepared few modules and we will be going one by one. Maybe many of things you must be knowing because you are all elder, you are all grown up and you know many things, but this is basically prepared for young girls and boys who are from class 9 to 12, so that they also understand what is violence. Because that they see everywhere, every time, in their family also, in the society also, but they are not able to recognize it. Maybe they think that this is the way the life goes on. Because I can give you an example. Girls, they come to us and they say, I don't want to get married. Why? Because I have seen my mother suffering in my in-house. So she feels that this is a very bad thing to get married. So that is what we want to just sensitize that if there is such type of violence is occurring, which is a very subtle type of violence, which occurs, which can happen anywhere, in your college, in your schools and everywhere, it is very common. And that is what we just want to just give you some idea that yes, there is violence everywhere and that has to be looked after and that has to be stopped and you have to say no to such type of violence. So with this, I will start my first module. So what is violence against women and how does DHEERA fit into it? Why we gynecologists are here with you? Why we are talking about all these things? Why others have not come? And I will tell you about them. So what we are going to explain here is that what is DHEERA, what is vow. By now you must have understood the meaning of vow, that is violence against women. What are the types of vows? What is the management of vow? What is the role of bystander, bridging the gender gap, and finally peer pressure, which I think you all must be knowing it and must have experienced also. So, what is DHEERA? What DHEERA comes from an Hindi word. DHEERA means courageous, the power of being together. And that is our hashtag line, DHEERA together. So if you tweet together, we want to tweet, all of you should tweet this, and we want to make a voice that we all are against violence against women. This is a statement given by Al-Wahab, who is a social activist from Azerbaijan, who says that not all men practice violence against women, but all women live with the threat of male violence every single day all over the earth. It doesn't mean that violence is only happening in India. It is all over the world. So, violence against women is a global human rights violation. It has short-term and long-term physical, economic, and psychological consequences. Because of this, it prevents the female her full and equal participation in the society. So many times she gets withdrawn, she doesn't participate, she becomes distressed. So that is very common. The magnitude of its impact on the society is immeasurable. Now this has seen in last pandemic, in this corona pandemic, when everyone was locked down and you have to stay alone, you have to stay with your family. Those females who are working, they have to stay at home. They have to live with their partner 24 hours. They have to do their home household work also and their office work also. And they have seen that because of that reduced mobility, there has heightened isolation and stress and economic uncertainties. This has led to an alarming spike in domestic violence. It has increased almost 700 times, which was previous. So are you aware of or have you ever seen any women being beaten, scolded at home, school and neighborhood? This is a question for school-going children, but I know you all must have seen and I know that this is not the right thing. And what is such behavior called and what is the word described to it? And that is what violence against women. So violence against women is the most shameful human rights violation. It is widespread. It has no boundaries of geography, culture or wealth. It is spread all over the world. And as long as it continues, there is no real progress towards equality, development and peace. That is the reason why we are talking about this. Now what does exactly vow mean? That is forcing a woman to live in fear. Now you can see this picture. And what you can see that in front there is a couple dancing. But that is not the reality. Because the back door something else is happening. The female is always staying in fear. There is a violence happening back doors. And that is what is the picture in families normally. We feel that they are in harmony, the couple is staying in harmony, but that is not always. Sometimes there is violence which is happening back door also. So violence can be mental, sexual and physical. And the root of all is deeply ingrained in our society in the form of toxic masculinity. I need not tell you, there are so many boys and girls are sitting here, they must be knowing what is toxic masculinity. Gender bias. That is again very common, but now this is becoming less. Sexism, patriarchal society and gender stereotyping. Now gender bias, that is, you all know, preference for male. Girls are considered as burden. Because of that, either they are killed in the womb or once they are born, they are killed. So female feticide and infanticide is very common. And if they continue to live also, their health issues are detected. We all have a patriarchal society where males are preferred, and even in our government, men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it. So if you really want to make a gender neutral society, you have to smash this patriarchy. Now gender stereotyping, we all must be experienced this. That is, if she's a girl, then girl has to be faithful, girl has to be emotional, girl has to be tolerant, girl has to be dependent. But if it is a boy, then he has to be competitive, logical, strategic, aggressive and independent. That is what we have been seeing since ages. It is ingrained in our minds that if you are a boy, you have to show you are very strong, you are a survivor, you are going to look after your family, and if female is there, she has to look after their house and their children, and she is always dependent on males. So that is the gender stereotyping which is still continuing, and we have to break this gender stereotyping. Sexism, I will not tell you about that. It is a prejudice, stereotyping, discrimination. against women based on sex and gender. Toxic masculinity. Very common. If you are a boy, if you are a man, you need to be very, very strong. That is what we say. If you start crying here, everyone says, that is what we say. So that is what we have to change. Even boys can have emotions. Even they can be weak. Even they can cry. And even they can help. So we have to make genders equal. We don't want to make females above and boys down. It's not like that. If equality, it has to be from both sides. So that is what we want to tell you, that it is your mental health which matters, not your physical health. So you have to be mentally strong, but sometimes you can take help from others, that is not wrong. So that should go. Now why we doctors, as a women, we are the gynecologists, why we are talking about all these things now? Because what we see, most of the time these females, they come to us. And they will be coming again and again. They don't have any problem also, still they are coming to us. Husband will come, देखिए ना मैडम घर पे काम ही नहीं करती है ये, बिल्कुल बैठी रहती है. So we are saying everything is normal, but problem is something different. She has been harassed in the family. She has been asked for dowry. There are so many things which can happen. So that is why we are the first point of contact. They come to us. And we should be so sympathetic and empathetic to understand that maybe they, apart from this health issue, they must be having some psychological problem. So that is why we are talking about, even when we started this module, we were not knowing that so many types of violence occur. So that is important, that we must diagnose such type of patients also and give them some relief. Because what we see sometimes there are serious health problems during pregnancy also, which is mainly the root is the violence. They want female child, they want male child. They have the female has only, पहले बच्चा उसको female लड़की हुई थी. Now she is living in threat that next baby which will be born, if she is a female, then what will happen? What my in-laws will say, what my husband will say. So that threat is always there. So that is what we have to change. So why DHEERA? We have just seen our President FOGSI, Dr. Shanta Kumari. She has taken this campaign, and this has been founded by FOGSI President Dr. Shanta Kumari to stop violence against women. And it has been launched almost 5-6 years back, and now it is happening all over India, and it has been extended in the other countries also, where they are asking for this type of module, where we are sensitizing all young population. So the main initiative of this WOW campaign is we have to sensitize, orient and train this 36,000 plus obstetrician and gynecologists and 5,000 boys and girls of 9 to 12 grade and more than 15,000 teachers. So this is basically for the young child to understand that there is violence and we have to say no to that. This is all campaign which has been done by our president. This is young girls, they are coming forward and they are all campaigning for this. So, thank you so much. This is our first module. Now, our next module will be on what are the types of WOW, what are the types of violence against women, and I will request Dr. Rekha Madam to kindly come to start.
Now we will go into what are the types of violence against women. It can be a physical violence, psychological violence, or the combination of the two. Among the physical violence, there can be acid attacks, honor killings, femicide, sexual violence. Among the psychological ones, it can be financial manipulation, emotional abuse, bullying, stalking, eve-teasing, and criminal intimidation. All the words are self-explanatory. And the third one can be domestic violence, which can be a combination of both the physical and the psychological violence. Now, what is physical violence? Acid attacks. This is a form of assault involving throwing a corrosive substance onto another, sometimes used as a form of blackmail. In all the things, we will show some case studies. There was Miss Lakshmi Agarwal, who was attacked in 2005 at the age of 15 after rejecting the romantic advances of a man who was 32 years old. For more details, you may watch the movie Chapak. So she was only 15 and that man was 32, and she did not even understand what he was advancing for, and he threw acid on that girl. What can you do? If attack is threatened or attempted, report to a trusted adult and police. Make sure to stay away from the person threatening. Always travel with others. Under section 326D IPC, imprisonment and not less than 5 years, but which may extend up to 7 years, and shall also be liable to fine. If attacked, report the attack to the doctor. Make sure to get treatment as soon as possible. Report the attack to an adult. Talk to parents, teachers, police, or anyone you trust. Make sure you stay away from the perpetrator of crime. So this is all for minors, not for adults, but as adults, some minor may approach you. Report the attack to the authorities. Section 326A IPC can be charged. It leads to imprisonment not less than 10 years, which may extend to imprisonment for life. Fine charged to meet the legal expenses of the victim. So not only imprisonment, they have to pay all the expenses which are required for the treatment of the victim. What is honor killing? The second one. It is murder of an individual, either an outsider or a member of the family, used to protect the reputation of the family, as it is believed that the victim has brought disrepute to the family. किसी तरह का जो है shame लाया हो family पे, किसी दूसरे religion वाले से love हो गया, या किसी के साथ लड़की चली गई, and then she is killed by the whole family. That is honor killing. Femicide. It is a gender-based crime. Arises when the society prefers the males over females. It can take the form of woman-based hate crime, infanticide, killing of a newborn female child, feticide, abortion of fetuses based on gender. Sexual assault, an act in which a man sexually touches a woman or compels her to get naked forcefully and without outward consent. It is punishable under section 354 IPC with 1 to 5 years and a fine. Causes long-term mental trauma to the victim. If you see sexual assault taking place, what you have to do? Stop it or call for help, even if your friend is an abuser. Anybody abusing, you should call for help. Nirbhaya Act 2013 and section 375 IPC protect women against any type of rape. Section 354A IPC protects against sexual harassment and unwanted physical contact. There is a POGSO Act 2012 which protects the minors from sexual abuse. So these acts you should know: 375 IPC, 354 IPC and the POGSO Act. If you are a survivor, do not shame yourself. If something has happened with you, do not hide it. You are not to blame. Do not take a bath, wash yourself, don't change your clothes, write down what has happened, inform the police, report in a timely manner so that there is evidence. Don't be afraid to speak up, as you are never at fault and an abuser is bound to repeat actions. I see you, I believe you, it's not your fault, you are not alone. So, survivor should be supported. Every way, the survivor should be supported. Now coming to psychological violence. What is this? Like financial manipulation. It involves making or attempting to make a person financially dependent by maintaining total control over the resources, withholding access to money, and or forbidding attendance at school or employment. Again, with example, they have shown the case study. Raj monitors his wife, Ananya's bank account, and doesn't let her buy what she wants. Raj's parents don't let Ananya go to work. Both the things. Like all the finances are managed by the husband, and Ananya is not allowed to work also. So she becomes economically weak and she cannot do anything by herself, even though she is equally intelligent, equally well-read thing. She is being financially manipulated. The third one is emotional abuse. Undermining a person's sense of self-worth through constant criticism. हमेशा बोलना, अरे तुम तो अजीब लगती हो, तुम तो बहुत गंदी दिखती हो, something of that sort. Undermining a person's sense of self-worth through constant criticism. तुमको तो दिमाग ही नहीं है, ऐसा भी बोलना. अगर बराबर किसी को बोला जाए तो it takes a toll on the mind. Most common examples are name calling, damaging a partner's relationship with the children, always calling in front of children कि तुमको दिमाग नहीं है, तुम कुछ कर नहीं सकती हो. That also undermines the quality of output that she can give. Not letting the partner see friends or family. Like उसको घर में बंद करके रखना, किसी से मिलना नहीं है, मेरे साथ ही चलना है कहीं. All these things, they are emotional abuse. Now look at the case study. Shreya is married to Ashok, whose colleagues mock him for earning less. Feeling hurt over his pride, Ashok takes out his frustration by drinking more often, frequent rage behavior and tantrums by breaking things, yelling and blackmailing Shreya of divorcing her. This constant fault-finding behavior of Ashok had a toll on mental health of Shreya. What can Shreya do? So, in the box you can see what the emotional abuses can be. Disrupting your feelings, make you feel guilty, threatening to hurt themselves. मैं अपने आप को मार लूँगा. तुम frustration में if the bait is मैं अपने आप को मार लूँगा. Nothing you or say is good enough. Blaming you for things going wrong in their life. Controlling you, telling you how to dress, humiliating or embarrassing you, feeling jealous when you are close to someone else. Like all these things are self-explanatory. Like nothing you do or say, even if you are earning more, doing all the household work, doing everything, still the husband is not pleased. That is a kind of emotional abuse. हमेशा मुंह लटका के बैठे रहना. Bullying, continuous harassment, either verbal or physical, can be in form of cyberbullying or ragging. Case study: Neil, a senior, asks about Riya's junior, who rejects him. He feels embarrassed and to bandage his pride, starts up a rumor that Riya is a slut. He starts to harass her every day, calling her fat, ugly and other such derogatory terms. He throws eggs at her house with his friend, pours water on her homework and provokes all his friends into teasing her whenever they see her. So what is happening? Since his advances are not accepted, he starts telling everybody that she is not good. So whenever you hear something about a girl, you should first verify whether this is correct or not. Maybe it is the attitude, the jealous attitude of some person which is doing this, harming her and her image. So it is not that a girl is a slut. Maybe it is a rumor. Maybe it is some person's hearsay that is doing all this. It's to women. So cyberbullying. This you should know very well that online form of bullying and abuse is very common nowadays. When technology is used to write aggressive, embarrassing or hateful messages
to or about the peers in order to intimidate, harass, shame and control. It includes threatening, abusive text messages, creation of embarrassing images or videos, sharing them, creating fake accounts, stealing online identities, sharing sexually explicit messages. Did you know females are 2 times more likely to be victims of cyberbullying? What are the types of cyberbullying? Do you know? Yes, exclusion from a group. अरे भाई वो तो बहुत बेवकूफ है, उसको इस ग्रुप में नहीं लाना है. That is a type of cyberbullying. Gossip, damaging a person's reputation and relationship with family and friends. Frapping. Frapping means impersonating a person by logging into someone else's social networking account. Harassment, constant and intentional posting, sending offensive and threatening messages. Outing and trickery, act of tricking someone into revealing personal information which is then shared publicly to humiliate him/her. It can be a boy also. It is not only that females are being cyberbullied, it can be a boy also. Of tricking someone into revealing personal information which is then shared publicly to humiliate him or her, and cyber stalking, harassing online by posting or sending unwanted or intimidating messages including red threats on safety, fake profiles. They are created to hide their real identity. What can you do if you are being cyberbullied? Check the platform's anti-bullying policy. Get in contact with the customer service representatives. If confused, block and report. Make sure to collect the screenshots. File a criminal complaint. Approach the cyber investigation cell. You can report to a cyber cell from any city. If unable to report to cyber cell, lodge FIR or reach women-oriented SHE teams. Stalking, when an individual follows a woman and repeatedly tries to contact her without consent, can occur also digitally. Section 3540 IPC imprisons the culprit for 1 to 3 years and the culprit can be liable to fine. Case study. Sanjay, 17, starts to follow around Meera, 17, everywhere she goes, learning her everyday routine, taking pictures of her, joining her tuitions, etc. His friends start to encourage him, comparing him to popular roles that actors have played in Bollywood movies. Many a times this happens. Even a group, they say, "Arey bhai, agar aisa karoge to main tumhe maan jaunga." And then the boy starts doing this. Meera starts to feel uncomfortable. What can she do next? These are the questions put up to everybody, that what can next be done. It has to be reported, it has to be stopped, a complaint has to be filed. Then comes voyeurism. The watching and or taking pictures of women without consent and without the knowledge of the woman. कैसे हो सकता है? If you are walking on a beach and somebody is having a bath, somebody starts taking a picture, that is wrong. Without the consent of anybody, you cannot take anybody's picture. Not only that, in an event, if some people are sitting and talking, without the consent, you cannot take a picture. Section 354 IPC imprisons the culprit for 1 to 3 years on first conviction. After more convictions, the abuser can be imprisoned for 3 to 7 years. What is eve teasing? That is chhedkhani. Obscene actions like unwanted remarks, sexual advances by a man to insult a woman in a public place is eve teasing. Section 294 IPC punishes men who speak in an obscene way for a maximum of 3 months. Section 509 IPC punishes men who acts or uses an object to insult a woman with a term of 3 years. Criminal intimidation. When someone is threatening to cause death, hurt grievously or to destroy your property. Section 503 IPC can cause imprisonment for up to 2 years or more, a fine or both. So, an instance of abuse in the movie Chapak. It is made on acid attack, but you must remember the movie Dar. There was a movie Dar in which also emotional abuse was going on. Sexual harassment, unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, sexual remarks showing pornography without consent, all constitute as sexual harassment. Can be reported under section 35(4)(a) IPC, which is punishable with up to 3 years of imprisonment. A case study: unseasonal rain has caused a farmer to lose a considerable amount of crop that he was unable to sell. To make the ends meet, he takes a loan from the village loan shark Raghu. After a few months, unable to pay his loan back, his daughter offers to help settle his father's debt by working for the loan shark. Taking advantage of their desperation, Raghu sexually harasses the girl. This type of situation is occurring. Now the combination, domestic violence, doesn't just have to be between a married couple. Any pattern of behavior used to maintain power or control over the partner. The main issues are most victims of domestic violence do not know that they are being abused. It is hard to believe a trusted partner could be manipulative, can also be harassment from the in-laws. So manipulation may be occurring. So examples: using coercion and threats, using intimidation, using emotional abuse. These are the types how power and control is exercised on someone. Using emotional abuse, using isolation, minimizing or denying and blaming, using children, using male privilege, using economic abuse. Cycle of abuse goes on. Why does this happen? Every time a female is abused by the husband or somebody from the family, they say, अरे गलती से हो गया, आज मुझे बहुत गुस्सा था, आज मैं बहुत stressed out था, इसीलिए ऐसा हो गया. But if this goes on and on, that means it is a cycle of abuse and you have to break the cycle of abuse. Domestic Violence Act 2005 covers physical, sexual, verbal and economic abuse and grants immediate protection, punishes the abuser with imprisonment up to 3 years. Ending violence against women should be one step at a time. So this module is finished. So it means doing away with the gender divide. In every matter, we say male and female, ये male ने ऐसे किया, female ने ऐसे किया. Whom do you identify with these names? Shiva, Kashish, Nihar, Gunjan, Harsha, Nayan and Nirmal. So some certain names are for the male, certain names are assigned to the females. So the difference of gender starts at birth. When the name is given, कि ये लड़कियों वाला नाम, ये लड़कों वाला नाम. तो नाम से नहीं कुछ होना चाहिए. There are certain names which is also for the males and also for the females. Characterize males or females. So there are some adjectives and you have to understand whether they are for male or female. But it should not be for the male or female, it should be for everybody. Active, considerate, aggressive, creative, ambitious, competitive, independent, emotional, leader, artistic, mechanical and gentle. A male can also be gentle. A female can also be aggressive. So this is what we should understand. Conditioning of the gender stereotypes. Stereotypes are so ingrained in our culture that they become a habitual response. Media and the films reward violent male behavior. जब कोई मेल लड़ाई का सीन करता है उसके खुद तालियां बजती है. That is showing that males can only be in a fight and वही सिर्फ जीत सकते हैं. On the other hand, have you seen that serial which is coming, Ahilya Bai? You see how Ahilya Bai can fight. what Ahilyabai Holkar was. So, it is not that only males can do everything. Media and films reward violent male behavior. Parents are more likely to use physical punishment with sons than with daughters. Parents are more likely to tolerate violent behavior in boys than in girls. Playing field. कोई बराबरी की लड़ाई यहाँ नहीं है. Some countries still don't give women voting rights. Women still don't have equal access to education at some places. Child marriages and dowry are still prevalent. Women are not given opportunities at work. One man's voice is worth more than that of many women. Women have less access to financial resources. There is not enough representation for women in many fields, including politics and leadership. All the genders have to work together as allies to create a gender-neutral, gender-responsive and equal society to eliminate gender inequality and the gender bias. Boys, it is not enough not to commit violence. You must be willing to take active steps to ensure that no other men commit such violence. So why the boys should listen to it? They are the persons who should not only refrain from doing any violence, either it be psychological, emotional or physical, but they should also take steps to prevent this being happening in the society. ऐसा सुनने में तो या देखने में आया होगा, किसी हाउस होल्ड में अगर अब्यूज हो रहा है, अगर कोई हस्बैंड वाइफ को इल ट्रीट कर रहा है या मारपीट कर रहा है, तो उसका बेटा ही खड़ा होता है उसको बचाने के लिए. ऐसा होता है ना? So everybody should know and understand how to prevent violence. Share the care. Women takes 3 times more unpaid care and domestic work than men. Women spend energy and emotional labor at home with family instead of advancing a career or looking after themselves. Appreciate those who help you unconditionally. So, the women of the household, they should be appreciated. Respect the sacrifices being made for you. Offer to help whenever you can. Encourage women to take up their own interests. A man can only be successful if there is a peaceful home which is created by a woman. Hold yourself accountable. Boys will be boys. ऐसा बोलते थे लेकिन नहीं. Boys will be held accountable. Respect men and women equally. Be aware of your own behavior. Make sure you are open to criticism. Change yourself when you see any type of negativity or toxicity. Change the notions of traditional masculinity, like don't cry, be strong. Don't do away with these things. Treat everyone the same way, regardless of the gender. Allow yourself the freedom to break norms and challenge stereotypes. Question those that do not allow you to challenge stereotypes. Do not excuse men just because they are men. Make the sensible male fashionable, not the alpha male. Sensitive men will change the next generation. So, what are the things which you should understand? That men can cry, men can break down, men get anxiety, men have emotions, men do feel insecure, men get abused, men have mental illnesses. It's not unmanly to struggle. Let's support men, let's encourage men. Don't belittle or silence men. Men struggle too. Respect others' choices. When someone makes you uncomfortable, ask yourself why. Examine your biases. Consider the circumstances that make your life different from yours. Do not judge, shame them for their choices. Understand consent. Are phrases such as "hasi to fasi" true? Clear consent is the word yes and nothing else. If a girl smiles at a boy, it is not consent. She has to say yes, then only it is a consent. She was asking for it. Why couldn't you? Boys will be boys is never acceptable. Never victim blame. So, consent, they have made a mnemonic, is freely given, reversible, informed, enthusiastic and specific. So the specific consent should be there. Call out sexism and harassment. Sexism, see it, name it, and stop it. All women experience sexual harassment at least once in their lifetimes. All women experience sexism once a week. Call out such behavior in a safe and respectful manner. Be an active bystander. Do not excuse friends, relatives, or co-workers. Challenge gender stereotyping. Question your own stereotyping prejudices. Challenge any stereotypical notions of gender, like women are not good at driving. ये सबसे ज़्यादा बोला जाता है कि अरे वो ठीक से चला नहीं रही थी, हॉर्न मार रही थी, औरत थी ना. But going into statistics, men are more prone to accidents. So you should understand, it is the type of driving that the women do is more safe. Counter the argument with facts. Believe survivors. Every time a woman speaks up about her experiences and she's not believed, toxic culture flourishes. When you hear a survivor's story, listen, believe, and support. Be an ally and offer unconditional support. You can see there is a wrong in this slide when you hear a survivor's story. The spelling of hear is wrong. Change the dialogue. When you Google search, women should. What comes up? Women should stay at home. Women should not work. Women should be seen and not heard. This narrative has to be changed. These are narratives which have been made by the society, because the same thing is searched again and again and that pops up first. We can do anything, we can be anything.
Respected Principal Madam, Madam Pratibha Singh, Dr. Rekha Jha, Dr. Umayadab, Chitra Mishra Ma'am, the teachers present over here, and all the lovely and lively students who are being strained so much, but still this is the need of the hour basically. What we are coming across at one point of time, definitely we'll realize that it was just the need of the hour and we have to modulate ourselves, we have to change. A change is what it is required nowadays. And it's high time. So now I'll be talking about the decoding peer pressure. So what is this decoding peer pressure? So regarding this, I'll be talking about identifying a toxic environment. How to identify. So we'll let you know about the basic things. Then good versus bad touch. Nowadays, this is a concept which is being frequently used and being taught to the children as well as adults. They also sometimes require the good versus the bad touch. The concept of consent. When do we say that we consent to something and when do we say no? Then the power of no. When and how to speak up. So what is peer pressure? So to define a peer pressure, we can say it can be any influence that peers have on each other to conform or to behaviors and personal habits of a group. Most of the time, peer pressure is too subtle to identify, but has enormous effects. So we do come across, we have a group, we form, we have peers, but sometimes we are unable to understand, we are sometimes unable to detect. So we will be offering some of the guidelines. So there are a variety of peer pressure. Sometimes it is spoken, sometimes it is unspoken. They don't speak about anything, but still there is a pressure. They can be direct, they can be indirect, they can be negative or a positive peer pressure. So how do we differentiate? So when it is in a spoken form, when one peer openly persuades another, when we speak about something when we are in a group, but sometimes
It is unspoken when one peer is persuaded by exposure to behavior. Because just by behavior effect, we put on a pressure and unknowingly we are subjected to it. There can be direct when peer has to make an on-spot decision, like a person offering a cigarette to the friend, low, offering a drink, offering some obnoxious things. So that is a direct pressure. But sometimes when it comes to the indirect one, when a peer overhears another gossiping and changes behavior according to the indirect pressure, he hears that something is being said about himself. मेरे बारे में उसने ऐसा बोला, ठीक है हम अपना behavior change कर लेते हैं. That is an indirect form. Sometimes negative. Then a peer is pressurized into behavior that is against their moral code. And sometimes it has a positive effect too. So we cannot deny this. When a peer is influenced by behavior that is healthy and responsible. So we need to differentiate. Now we are mature enough that we are able to differentiate all these things. So, no more fake friends. So what are the signs of a toxic environment? We are always in a group, we have peer, we have friends, we have circles, we have different types of circles. So, what are the signs of a toxic environment? Your friends make you feel bad about yourself, that you are not good. Something is wrong with you. Your friendship is on their terms. तुम ऐसा करोगे तभी ग्रुप में तुमको आने देंगे, otherwise जाओ अपना रास्ता काटो. So many times we do come across. You are never sure about where you stand. हमेशा बोलते रहेंगे, हमेशा किसी एक friend को बोलते रहते हैं. So gossip is constant about friends. Effort is one-sided. So they don't respect your boundaries because everybody is an individual. Everybody has an identity. So we have to retain this. You feel pressure to do things you don't want to. But sometimes we are subjected to it. We are in a group. अरे नहीं रहेंगे तो ग्रुप में रखेगा भी नहीं, हमको अलग कर देगा. So you feel pressure to do things you don't want to. And there is a competition to be popular. We do certain things in order to please the group. See, I am better than the other people. So आप मेरे को पूछो, मेरे को importance दो. So it comes like that. You are terrified. One mistake could make them leave you. लगता है कि कुछ गड़बड़ कर देंगे तो फिर वो लोग नहीं रखेगा ग्रुप में. Sometimes it does happen to everyone. They encourage your worst traits. अरे उसके तो चाल ही कुछ गड़बड़ है. He is doing something which is not meant to be. We often say. So this is a normal thing that we do come across, but we don't realize that this is not fair. This is not supposed to be spoken of. This is not supposed to be done. How to avoid uncomfortable situations. So, although this is spoken with the children in the schools, but still, I find that it needs to be spoken and it needs to be known to every one of us. Avoid going out with strangers, not only for the girls, even for the boys. It's not very safe to go along with the strangers. Make sure your parents, siblings are aware of your whereabouts. Even though you people are mature enough, but still, you do need some guidelines. Whenever you are going alone, you should be informing somebody. So it is a necessity when you are going alone. Take a phone with you. Don't be in a hurry or rush. You should always carry your mobile phone. It's a good thing that you should be carrying. Respect other people's boundaries and draw boundaries for yourself. You see, this is my limit. I should not be crossing this. Be confident to say no to anything you are not comfortable with. If you're not feeling comfortable, be it with the boys or with the girls. Everyone should be ready to say a big no. Dial the police number 100 if you feel a sense of danger. Remember, anybody can land in such a situation. Always remember to dial 100 or any of your parent or any of your friend or any of your sibling or any of the elders you know. So, learning to differentiate toxic people is the first step to cleansing toxicity. So you should need to learn to differentiate how the boys should avoid boys who are against feminism. See, even if many of you, if you are thinking in that manner, we need to change. We need to change every time we do come across so many things. And we will be coming across so many things. So we need to change what is a better option. So they need to avoid against feminism. Boys who are rude to their mothers, you should always respect your mother. Boys who don't respect your physical boundaries, so you need to avoid. Boys who pressure you to send nudes. Boys who start fights. Boys who use slurs, like so many languages they use. Boys who comment on the girl's appearance without her asking for an opinion. So this is a respect that you should show towards your colleague. Boys who make rape jokes, so that should not be heard, and you should try to stop these things. And there are some things to be avoided by the girls, like girls who think it's unmanly to cry. No, you should cry. It's a burst of emotions. Girls who hit or slap their boyfriends, thinking to be very smart, some boyish type of thing. No, this is not recommended. Girls who are totally materialistic. Girls who call the other girls and uses some abusive languages. Girls who don't respect your physical boundaries. Girls who call you a girl, thinking it's an insult. No, it's to be proud of, to be a girl. Girls who don't think men can be victims of abuse and rape. So we should learn to put yourself first. Put yourself first. मैं पहले बाद में सब. Set boundaries you are comfortable with. So everybody has a certain limit, certain boundaries, and you should always respect that. You should always know that. So the boundaries, they sound like, I will end this phone call if you continue to shout at me. Many a times, be it a girl or a boy, they start shouting on the phone as if you are their property. No. You should always say, I will end this phone call if you continue to shout at me. You can speak plainly also. I can stay for half an hour. You see, I don't have that much of time, but still, I can give you half an hour or 30 minutes or 15 minutes. That's all. Thank you for your offer. Unfortunately, I can't make it. So you have to be polite. You can't be aggressive. I'm not comfortable discussing that. Please do not discuss it with me. This simple language can withhold many things. I need time to think about it. I'll come back to you. So some of the things you need to have spoken of. I don't respond to work emails at the weekend. That means I don't attend all these things. I have some time, so I want some leisure time for myself too. I'm not comfortable with that. If you do it again, I'll have to leave. I respect your opinion, but this is my life and my decision. It is a priority. So I have to think in that manner. So we come across good touch versus bad touch. Although you, since you are a grown-up children, so you are aware of these things, but sometimes it needs description. Peer pressure can make it feel like all touch is acceptable, which is not true. Speak out whenever you feel uncomfortable and you have the power to say no. So there are some points, this is usually described with the children because most of us are aware of these things. Now what is the concept of consent? So consent is a permission for doing anything. Always ask for consent. May I please or may not? Do not assume consent. If the person is not saying anything, it doesn't mean that he or she has consented. Respect the consent. Never force consent. No means no. Stop means no. Stop it. Turning away means no. You just turn away and walk away. That means no. I don't want to means no. Showing you away means no. Leave me alone means no. Passed out means no. I'm not ready means no. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it means no. Drunk or drugged means no. Get away from me means no. Screaming, that means you're not consenting. Don't means no. And crying also means no. So sometimes you have to be ready for these things. Always be prepared if you don't consent. Always be ready to say no or walk away from the situation. Don't say maybe if you want to say no. So never say maybe. कि हो सकता है, अच्छा सोचते हैं. No means no. Stand up to peer pressure. Just say no, no, nah. Leave the scene and say, see you later. Make up an excuse. Like, yes, I just remembered, I have to do something. Talk to. Be at such and such place. Or you can run also. Use humor. You be humorous. Like if my parents found out, they would lock me in my room for like 30 years. And I'd be forced to eat bagel and broccoli. You see, you can place any of the excuses you want. It's just an example. कि नहीं पसंद है तो नहीं पसंद है, or make something humorous and walk away from the situation. That means you don't go for that situation. You're not ready for that. Change the subject. Like, oh, hey, I almost forgot to tell you about. Change the subject. जो बात चल रही है, बात ही मैंने बदल दिया intelligently, तो बात ही बदल गई. कहाँ से कहाँ चली गई, किसी को कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, and the thing is gone. Suggest a better idea, like let's go check out instead. So give some idea. So it all depends upon the presence of mind. So it helps you. जैसा situation है, presence of mind, open रखो, you'll get a lot of opportunities, you'll get a lot of options if you want that you want to avoid that situation. Remember to always listen to your gut instinct. So it works over here. मुझे ऐसा लगा कि कुछ गड़बड़ होने वाली है. That means there is something wrong going over. और ये कई बार ऐसे महसूस होता है कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. Be prepared. Dreaming of a better future for our future generations. Never too young to respect women. Little girls will dream, become women with vision. So little girls are raising their voice. It's a positive sign. So we had the end of the session, and Malala Yousafzai, she said, I want every girl to know that her voice can change the world.
Thank you, Dr. Osha. It was a wonderful presentation. And now, if anybody has any question, can ask.
But ma'am, I have one question. Ma'am, how do we stop kill newborn baby girl to years? कैसे कर सकते हैं? क्योंकि जनरली देखते हैं कि हम रोक नहीं सकते जो मतलब एक दो तीन चार अगर गर्ल हो रही है तो गांव वगैरह में ऐसा होता है कि अगर जाता है तो उसको किया जाता है, तो फिर कैसे उसको स्टॉप कर सकते हैं? आप एक डॉक्टर हैं तो आपका ऐसा कुछ
ये बहुत बड़ी समाज की बहुत बड़ी कुरीति है जिसमें कि लड़कियों को हमेशा नीचे पायदान पे रखा गया है और इसमें केवल डॉक्टर ही हेल्प नहीं कर सकता है. डॉक्टर तो अपनी तरफ से मना कर सकता है, पर उसके साथ में जो आपका परिवार है, आपकी जो फैमिली है, जो औरत है जिसको बच्चा होने वाला है, उसको स्ट्रॉन्ग होना पड़ेगा कि अगर मुझे लड़की है तो मैं रखूंगी और उसको मैं नहीं मारूंगी, तभी आप इसको कर सकते हैं. मैंने देखा है, हम लोग, मैं बाहर गई थी अब्रॉड, वहाँ पे जर्मनी में मैं एक होटल में रुकी थी. वहाँ पे एक औरत जो काम कर रही थी, होटल में स्टीवर्ड थी, वो अपने साथ उसके 4-5 बच्चे थे, चार लड़कियाँ थी और 5वीं उसको मतलब शी वॉज प्रेग्नेंट. तो मैंने कहा 4 लड़कियाँ से मुँह से निकल गया, 4 लड़कियाँ तुमको? तो बोली कि हाँ. Then she said कि this is also a girl child. तो उसको ये पता था कि लड़की है, बट उसके बाद भी वो she did not go for abortion. इसने बच्चा रखा है क्योंकि वहाँ पे लीगल है, वहाँ पे आप सेक्स डिस्क्रिमिनेशन इज लीगल. They come to know that there is a female or female. हिम्मत भी चाहिए और आपको बोलना है इसमें, तो है ना। डॉक्टर्स को तो करना ही नहीं, हम लोग को ये इलीगल है। सेक्स डिटर्मिनेशन पे जो अबॉर्शन होते हैं वो इलीगल है, हम लोग नहीं करते हैं, हम लोग नहीं कर रहे हैं, पर हर तरह के लोग होते हैं हर समाज में, तो इसलिए उसको इलीगल है, उसको दोनों तरफ से आना चाहिए, तो परिवार की तरफ से भी और डॉक्टर की तरफ से भी। और आपको बोलना, अगर आपकी घर में ऐसा हो रहा है तो ये नहीं होने देना बस।
तो अभी जो इंटरनेशनल सेफ अबॉर्शन डे है, दिस MTP Act has come in law in the year 1971, and new amendments have been made in 2021. The bill has been passed from Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha also, and the law has been made against the abortion. And according to this law, we have the right to have abortion up to the gestational age of 24 weeks. Now the new amendment has come, and today is the Safe Abortion Day and International Safe Abortion Day. The MTP is legalized, and we have to know where to go, what will be safe for us for MTP, which place should we go, to whom we should contact, and up to what limit. These are the law has been made for this, and the legal barriers become less. And this gestational age has been made up to 24 weeks of gestation because of the survivals of the rape victims and so many other victims also. So go to your smartphone and find out about the this new MTP Amendment Act 2021 and know something about this. Thank you.
So we have come to the end of the DHEERA program, and since it is Safe Abortion Day, we wanted to impart the knowledge that previously 5 महीने तक abortion allowed था, अब legally 6 महीने तक allowed है, because so many rape victims और congenital anomalies बच्चे में विकृतियाँ मिलती है, तो उसमें बाद में भी करना पड़ जाता है, इस वजह से ये गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने ऐसा कर दिया। थैंक यू।
कभी-कभी जो प्रेग्नेंट फीमेल आती है 28 सप्ताह में, 7 महीने में, 8 महीने में विद कंजेनाइटल एनोमलीज, तो एक मेडिकल बोर्ड बनाया जाता है और हम लोग 9 महीने तक प्रेगनेंसी नहीं ले जाके उसके पहले भी टर्मिनेट कर देते हैं, बिकॉज दैट चाइल्ड विल आइदर द चाइल्ड विल नॉट इज नॉट गोइंग टू सर्वाइव और दे विल क्रिएट अ सोशल एंड इकोनॉमिकल बर्डन टू द फैमिली, टू द नेशन. सो just you have to know about the Safe Abortion, the MTP Act and everything. Thank you very much for your participation.
वायलेंस अगेंस्ट वुमेन्स कैंपेन चला रहे हैं कि हम ऐसे नहीं सोच सकते हैं कि जब इक्वल रिप्रेजेंटेशन, इक्वल पार्टिसिपेशन, इक्वल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होगा, मैं इसको डिस्क्राइब करता हूं क्या होता है इक्वल रिप्रेजेंटेशन. तो मतलब फैमिली में वुमेन को और मेन को इक्वल रिप्रेजेंट किया जाए, तो वो भी फैमिली को जो डिस्टेंस से वो खुद ले, और इक्वल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन भी की संपत्ति में जो उनको भी इक्वल अधिकार मिले, प्रैक्टिकली नहीं है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली है ये शुरू हो गया. यस, वो तो मैं डिस्क्राइब करता हूं इस क्वेश्चन कि एक व्यक्ति बनने के लिए सिर्फ प्यार और इमोशंस जो है जरूरी नहीं, उसके लिए संपत्ति चाहिए, प्रॉपर्टी चाहिए, मकान चाहिए, वुमेन को आज भी ये चीजें जो है नहीं मिल पा रही है बेहतर तरीके से. और तीसरा है इक्वल पार्टिसिपेशन. हस्बैंड वाइफ जो है इक्वली पार्टिसिपेट करे इकोनॉमिकल एक्टिविटी में, फाइनेंशियल एक्टिविटी में. ये ऐसे कैंपेन से मुझे लगता है कि जो है ये वायलेंस अगेंस्ट वुमेन्स को जो है डिमाइन और डिक्रीज किया जा सकता है. ऐसे हम नहीं सोच पा रहे.
देखिए ये ऐसा है ना कि आपके माइंड सेट है, ये आपके माइंड में अब शुरू से सेट है, इसीलिए हम लोगों ने इसको ना यंग एज से शुरू किया है. जो हमारे दिमाग में हो गया है कि हम जूनियर है, हम या इंफीरियर है और द मेल का सुपीरियर, उसको काम कर सकते हैं, पर 100% हमारे दिमाग से नहीं जा सकता है. ये आप सब लोग समझ सकते हैं. आज भी हम लोग यहाँ देख रहे हैं, boys are sitting this side and girls are sitting this side, so there is a gender discrimination here. है कि नहीं? ऐसा नहीं है. हम लोग we the young minds. जो छोटे बच्चे हैं तो उनको ये समझना पड़ेगा कि there is for gender equality में क्या limit है, कहाँ तक आप equally हैं, because male is male, female is female, but still they have to be equal. They can do anything. जो औरत जो लड़की कर सकती है वो लड़का भी कर सकता है, but they should know their limits. They should know till what limit they should go. And for equality, we have to change our mindset, and we need to change the mindset of our parents, our family, our society, and everywhere. Even government, आप government में देखिए, ऐसा नहीं है कि सारे औरतों को इस तरह का काम नहीं, ऐसा आप सारे इंस्टीट्यूशन में देख लीजिए, आज हमारे भारत में प्रिंसिपल है, ये बहुत बड़ा एग्जाम्पल है कि इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज की प्रिंसिपल है फीमेल। Very few. So that is what. एक दिन में नहीं चेंज हो सकता। आज हम लोगों ने इतना बोला है तो हो सकता है 5% आपके दिमाग में जाए, बट ये धीरे धीरे चेंज होगा। That is what we have to do, and then only equality will come. और आप जैसे लोग ही चेंज करेंगे जिनको ये सोच रहे हैं।